Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel. Well, as you saw in the description, you may have heard, you may not have heard, but Runcam have made a micro FPV camera with Superview. Now for any of you who don't know what Superview is, putting it simply, it stretches your image but without distorting it. So you get a nice clear image, because you know on some of your models you've got like your small 4:3 image, and then on some you've got your 16:9. Well, this stretches your 4:3 image, and it keeps you a nice clear, beautiful clear image. Right, first of all I'll just tell you something real quick. I'd got it, obviously micro, I'd got it for my little micro quad here. Oh, I'll just say something. This is not a TBS crossfire. I've been asked a few times, have you got a crossfire on that little 3-inch quad, George? Well, no, it's not. It's just the way I mounted my antennas, that's all. Put a little plastic antenna tubing on, put the little ends on, mounted them that way so that when it's in a crash, it's pretty hard to do any damage to the antennas at all. So that's all that is. It's not the crossfire on this little thing. Okay, right, that's that sorted, because I have been asked a few times and people have seen this, which is understandable the way it looks. Anyhow, getting back to it, yeah, in here I did an upgrade on this quad, new motors and stuff like that, and I put the Runcam DVR inside with the built-in, you have a little, not built-in, but you put an SD card in, and it records DVR footage but straight from the camera. So it's not like DVR through your goggles where you get the distortion because the thingy. I'll put a little clip up in the corner for a second while we're talking. But what it does is it crops the image, as hopefully you'll be seeing now. And if you're a subscriber, you've seen a few flights of this. Yeah, the actual Runcam DVR Mini it's called. It's a great little camera for something like this. Okay, you probably wouldn't use it on a bigger quad. I use it on this size, and I also use it on my FPV backpack on my plane, which I know some of you would have seen. But it's a cropped image. Well, if I just put that down for a second, that's why I got this, because it stretches the image. Right, so hopefully I'll be able to get some really good DVR footage full screen. Yeah, it's a tiny little micro camera. I love the box actually. This sounds silly, it's a box, right? But this padded area here, it's that foam padding, and it really will be cushioning the camera while it's in transit. And let's be honest, a lot of things arrive from certain places, and if you've ordered them from a long way away, they can get damaged. But Runcam's got a really good reputation for little boxes and packaging and stuff. And yeah, it's a really nice little camera. I won't zoom in, you probably won't see from there though, but I'll zoom in a bit, why not? Wrong way. Everyone guessed I'd go the wrong way. No, it's 5 to 36 volts I believe. I cannot see from this angle, but it's 5 to 36 volts, and it also has a 5 volt output. Right? But it also has a TX and RX cables coming off it, because it does something a little bit special. If you wire it up to your flight control board, if you've got a couple of spare UARTs, TX, RX, you can actually do all your control settings, sorry I'll come out again, all your control settings actually on your transmitter, right, rather than having one of them, right. Although they do a version, a version of the Runcam Racer, this is called by the way, sorry, right, where you get one of these. So it's an option, it's a choice. I believe, I could be wrong here, the camera where you get one of these adjusters where you just plug it in and it's buttons and stuff, I think it's a different colour. I believe it's black and white stripes, right, which to me looks a bit weird, but each to their own. But yeah, what you do with this is you wire it up to your flight control board and you set it up in Betaflight, and you actually use your sticks, right, to change all your different settings, your contrast, your whatever, all your different colour settings and wide dynamic range, brightness, everything, right. So if you're at the field and you want to change something quick, you can just land, go straight into it, change it, right, take off again, right, rather than having to plug one of these cable press buttons in. And that's another thing I like about it. Yes, it's going to use up another UART on your flight control board, but I happen to have 2 spare, right, on my little 3-inch, right, and I won't be using them throughout else, so it's perfect for me. In the box you get an average stand for it, right, a micro stand, so you can mount it on, well, it's a stand, it's a mount, right, figure that one out yourself. But you also get, which I think is really nice, you get an adapter, right, if I can get the bloody thing in, there you go. You get an adapter so you can actually put it on your larger size quads, right, if you want Superview, of course, right, because that's the selling point. It's got Superview. Runcam are doing Superview, so you can get this little micro camera and mount it to your big 250 size quads, whatever, 5-inch, 6-inch, anything you want. Basically mount it to whatever you want, and you've got a great, nice looking snazzy adapter as well. You get some really nice silicone wire, which is good, and you get your little nuts and bolts and stuff. Right, and that's it in the box. Right, now it's a bit pricey, right, because well, it's all because of all the extra technology in it, which I've just gone through. It's coming in at just under £30. Right, I'll pop some up so you can see it. I got this one from banggood.com. Anyway, yeah, so there's the little Runcam micro / Superview camera I've got for me 3-inch. I'll pop her in and give her a test flight and show you the footage at the end of the video. And I say at the end because that's not the end, because while I'm going to be stripping out the quad to put this camera in, I've also upgraded the VTX. Now when I did my upgrades, I was going to put in a SpeedyBee VTX TX500 they're called, but I couldn't get my hands on one, so instead I used the HGLRC, right, which is a really good company, great make. I use a lot of their stuff actually, but the HGLRC micro VTX board, which goes up to 350 milliwatts. This particular board, right, will do 25 milliwatt, 200 milliwatt and 500 milliwatt, which actually reads out at nearly 600 milliwatt. It has the MMCX connector and microphone. I'll just show you in here real quick as well. You get 2 connectors, an SMA connector, right, so you can plug your your own antenna on, and it also comes with a little whip antenna, right, with your MMCX connector and silicone wire and all the extra little nuts and pieces. Right, this also has smart audio, so you can do all your adjustments once again on your transmitter. You set that up in Betaflight, and that's it. And that didn't go down properly, so I'm going to crush it if I try and put that lid on, but still. No, but the main thing was I'm upgrading my camera to get Superview. So now when I'm using the Runcam DVR, the micro Runcam DVR, it should stretch the image. I'll get a full size image rather than a cut. So what I'll do is I'll get it in a model, take it out for a flight, and I'll put a before and after, right, so you can see the difference in the footage. And let's hope we both like it, because obviously I ain't got it in yet. But from what I've seen, Andy RC did a review on this and he was well impressed with the way it stretched and there was no distortion and stuff like that. So here we go then, let's get her in a model, get her flying, and like I say, I'll show you a comparison between the regular Runcam that I'm using, the Runcam DVR where the screen's split, and then the Superview with it wired. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, let's get her in and get to the field. We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement. This pilot is a plonker. No, I did something wrong, right? Silly rookie mistake. anyone who flies and stuff like that will be laughing their heads off in a minute, but I thought I'd share what I did wrong, because it's an easy mistake to make, right? Just to make sure if you get this camera, nobody else makes the same mistake I did. If I remember while I'm telling you, I'll pop a picture up. This will only take a couple of minutes. What it was, on your camera, you've got a TX cable and an RX cable coming off, which you wire up to your TX and RX UART port on your flight control board, so that you can do that settings with the transmitter I told you about, which I'll be showing you in a moment. Now, I'd set the quad up, everything was working perfect, but I could not get into the settings. The remote control settings would not work. I checked, double checked, tried everything, but it would not work, and I was literally gonna, well, I'd started to undo the frame again for the second time, and I was going to take the camera out thinking it was faulty. I was going to send it back and see about getting a replacement, and when I did that, I spotted it. I spotted what I did wrong. Now, just for new pilots, your TX and RX basically means to transmit, TX, and the RX is to receive. Now, on the camera, the TX wire, right, runs to the RX on your flight control board, so it transmits from the camera and receives on the flight control board, and the RX on the camera runs to the TX on your flight control board, so that the flight control board transmits the information back and the camera receives it. So TX to RX, camera to board, and RX to TX, camera to board. Well, you've already guessed what I did. Yeah, so in such a rush to get it in the first time, I'd gone TX to TX and RX to RX. Well, that won't work. Right, I know that won't work, even though I did do it. So it's just a little tip. Right, not necessarily for new pilots, because anybody, and I mean anybody could have made that mistake. It has to go, right, the TX to the RX and the RX to the TX. Transmit to receive, receive to transmit, receive from the transmit. Okay then, I just thought I'd share that, give you all a laugh. It was doing my head in. I was trying all different things. I practically threw the bleeding quad across the room at one point. My brother would have done, trust me, he would have done. Yeah, but it was just one of them stupid rookie things I did, like putting your props on the wrong way around, you know what I mean? Everyone's done it. People will say, I've never done that, but you know you've done it. Everybody's put the prop on the wrong way at some point, right? Probably when you're just getting into this hobby, not when you've been flying for years. But it's just one of them things, so I wanted to explain that, and hopefully I put a picture up so you can see exactly which way they should go. But if I forgot to put the picture up, you know anyhow. TX from the camera goes to RX on the flight board. RX from the camera goes to TX on the flight board. Okay, I just thought I'd clear that up, that I'm a plonker. But thought I'd share, rookie mistake, but it can happen. Right then, back to the usual viewing of the programme. There you go then, pilots. She's all in and wired up. And I tell you, it wasn't an easy job. I had a nightmare doing this actually. And it wasn't just a 2-second job either. It really did take me a few days, because I had some problems, which I know I've already just mentioned about the camera. But I also had problems with the receiver, and I had problems setting the VTX, getting it all done and everything. But as you can see, I've got one of them luminaire antennas on, so I've got a nice one plugged in at the side, on the SpeedyBee VTX. But I had trouble with the receiver. The receiver's behind there. That's just a little board I've screwed in to hold the receiver in place, and coloured it in black just to try and make it blend a little bit. But yeah, but she's all in now, and the quad works again. I say the quad works again because the bloody quad stopped working, but when I'd gone back through it again, that was something else. When I had to rewire the flight control board because I'd made a problem when I was wiring the camera in. I'd stuffed up on the flight control board, but I've got everything sorted and everything working great again now. I haven't taken her out flying yet, but I've checked her in the goggles. That wide image in the goggles looks really nice actually. Unfortunately, I haven't changed all the settings yet and got the contrast and the sharpness and the brightness. I ain't got all that set up properly yet because I've literally just really finished sorting this out. Right, I'll leave a little picture, a little video up where I've just held the quad in the garden, right, just to show you a bit of the image so you'll see the contrast ain't brilliant. But the sharpness is pretty good because it's quite dull out there today. It's quite a dull day. Quite a dull day indeed. Right, but it does look quite bright. It really does, the sharpness bring out the colours and everything. Now, there's a little bit of messing about I have to do with the settings as you see in the video. Right. It's not perfect. And also, like I said, the reason why I got this with a Superview for stretching, right? When you've got your goggles on, you can tell the image is stretched, and it looks really good actually, right? But on the Runcam DVR, as you'll see, it didn't stretch the image. Now, maybe that's because the Runcam DVR won't allow it, or maybe it's because I have to change a few more settings still in the camera, which I haven't really got into yet, but there'll be more updates. But yeah, let's show you how you do the camera anyway in Mode 2. What I'll try and do is, I don't know how it'll work or how it'll come out, but I'll have the transmitter here, I'll put my goggles on and I'll try showing you the stick movements with my goggles on and try and have the a DVR footage in the corner or something so you can see me going through it. DVR for my goggles. It might not link up perfectly, but you'll get a general idea. Okay then, let's jump to that bit and just to show you how to use the control panel, the transmitter to change the settings in the camera. Right then, the on-screen display. Transmitter's on obviously. Just plug in the quad in. Give it a second, do its little beeps. This is my power switch on here. Right, you don't turn your power switch on, which I know is pretty obvious, but some people might. Right, you move all your sticks to the centre. Now this is Mode 2. When you get the camera, you'll get the instructions because you use different sticks in Mode 1. Right, I'll leave a link, I think I've already mentioned it, NTSC, because he's got his set up in Mode 1 and you'll see the difference. Right, I will put an on-screen display up, right, from my DVR in my goggles, which I'm literally turning on now as we're speaking. Maybe, if it'll start bloody recording. Which it is. Aye, I should cut that bit out, but I won't bother. Right, and let's get into the editing then, just to show you how it works. I'll leave the lens cap on so it'll look a bit weird, but at the same time you'll get a gist. Right, and what you do is, now I've got my goggles on now so I'm a bit blind here, you simply push your throttle stick, this is Mode 2 remember, to the right. You'll see it says remote mode, and then push it again and I've gone into some settings. Then you use your right stick, you pitch up and down to adjust whatever you want to adjust, which obviously I'm not gonna, and then exit. Oh no, you back to your throttle stick again to exit, right, and you've got all your save and your cancels and your return. It speaks for itself, right, and I'll just come out of that bit there. Now if I wanted to change some extra settings, right, as in personalise it, like you've noticed I already have done, I've changed the name from Runcam at the bottom to Sky Zone. I go in again, but this time I push up and hold and there you go. Now I can change all the different, well, all your different settings, the alarms, well, everything you see, your timers, which I've got turned off because I use the Betaflight timer, which I prefer. Right, but you've got everything there, your widescreen and everything, your sharp view, which obviously you want on, and I'll just come out of that now. There you go, and then exit, and that's it basically. So you can do that at the field, and you can go into, which I didn't show you, so I'll just go in again and again. Which one is it? Picture adjustment, that one. Yeah, you see you can change all your brightness and your contrast, your sharpness, and obviously you can do everything you would normally do with one of them little remote control press buttony jobs. But on this you don't have to. The flip, right, I believe is if you've got your camera the wrong way around or upside down, so to speak. But yeah, so you've got everything you need to do, your white balance, manual, push lock, AWT, which is auto. I'll leave that on auto. Come out, save all, because I've, yes, and exit to the left. I know this transmitter's upside down here, right, so but basically to enter it you push to the right, which would be your left as you look at it, and to come out of it it'd be that way. But right then, pilots and ground crew, hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't. That's over a week in the making of this video, over a week. Yeah, because I had no but problems, and it was a case of I'd be trying to solve it, and you're thinking, what the hell, so you leave it a day and then go back to it again. And at one point I was working on this for nearly 4 hours in one straight go, trying to sort out a problem. Right, the camera, the TX to the RX, the RX to the, what I'd already mentioned. And I know, rookie mistake, plenty of people laughing at me right now, but it was just one of them things. I just played it up wrong, just one of them things. But yeah, so I stripped it down, I put it back together, I stripped it down, I put it back together, then I had trouble with the flight control. Oh. Yeah, you know, you start a job sometimes and you think, why the hell didn't I just leave well enough alone? It was flying, it was fine, it worked. Why have I done all these bloody upgrades? I messed up. But anyway, yeah, she's all done now, as you saw in the video, and I can't go out flying today. So, but once plus the flight footage won't look that great anyhow, because as you saw in the little clip, I need to mess about with the contrast and the sharpness and the brightness and all that sort of stuff. And oh, please forgive me when I showed you the transmitter and I showed you the little DVR footage, as in what happens when you move the sticks and everything. I know that wasn't linked up perfectly, I didn't get that linked up, but you got the gist of what you do, hopefully. But like I've mentioned 2 or 3 times in this video, Andy RC, I'll leave a link in the description so you can click on his channel, right, and watch his review of this particular camera. And he's setting his up in mode 1, so the stick positions are different. Okay, so if you're flying mode 1, you might want to watch that. Even though when you do get one, I mean, you download the PDF with the instructions. You do get some instructions, but you download the PDF and the instructions are in there, and it's not difficult. It's not difficult, as long as you pay attention. I'm not going through it again, you know what I did wrong. As long as you pay attention, it's not difficult. But yeah, so I'm hoping though, when I turn on certain things, that image will stretch in the Runcam Mini DVR I mentioned, why I actually got this camera. If it doesn't, I've screwed up. Well, I haven't screwed up, I've still got a very good camera, right, which I can always use for something else. I can always put the Foxy Mini back in here if need be, but I won't be. I'm not stripping this down again for a long time until it really needs doing. But like I say, cameras, unless they're bust, they never waste, because you always end up building something else. And let's be honest, the little 3-inches are really starting to come into the road now. And a lot of people are switching over to them. That's why a lot of the stuff's getting more and more expensive for these little things. About 2 or 3 years ago, if you were buying parts or motors or batteries for something like this, right, pennies. But now with the new laws coming in and stuff, but if you're under 250 grand, basically do anything you bloody well like, we don't care type thing. Everyone, well, not everyone switching, but there's a hell of a lot of people shrinking the quads down, alright, and making sure, and then the prices are going up. But that's commerce for you. Yeah, it's commerce for you. But yeah, so there it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it went on for too long. Well, actually, I'm not sorry, because I wanted to cover all the details and stuff. At least it didn't go on as long for you as it bloody well did for me. Right then, pilots and ground crew, there'll be an update. Right, I'll give it a couple of weeks, get used to the camera, and you'll probably see some flight footage, but I'll do an update of the camera, and I'll also mention the TX500 VTX, the SpeedyBee, right, and give you my thoughts on that in a couple of weeks, just after having a bit of fun flying with her. But you'll probably see a video before then. But yeah, right then, thanks for watching, cheers, and if you liked, you know what to do. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, thanks for watching.